My beloved child, the message comes to you today not by accident, but by divine orchestration. You have been sensing the pull, the stirring in your spirit, the quiet whispers from heaven that something deep is shifting. You feel His energy around you even when you try to move on. You sense His thoughts when He thinks of you in silence. You feel the ache that He hides from the world. And yet, something has always stood between you, an invisible wall, a shadow from His past, a presence that still grips Him in unseen chains. He loves you. His soul recognizes you. But her shadow still controls him. This is not about competition or rivalry. This is about spiritual bondage. There are cords that were formed long before you met him, emotional ties. Karmic debts, soul patterns that have repeated lifetime after lifetime. And now, heaven has decided that enough is enough. The spell that has kept him bound is being broken, but not without a divine process. God has stepped into the situation, not to rush it, but to redeem it. You have asked, if He loves me, why can't He come toward me? You have cried, why does it feel like He's there in spirit but gone in action? Heaven has heard these cries, and God is not blind to your tears. The waiting, the confusion, the heartbreak, none of it is wasted. Every moment is part of a sacred design to awaken both of you. His love for you is real. It has always been real. But He is caught in the residue of an old attachment, a shadow that manipulates his mind. His choices, his confidence, his peace. There are words she once spoke that still echo in his head. There are emotional chains that pull him back every time he tries to rise. Her shadow is not her physical presence, but the energy she left behind, control, fear, guilt, and illusion. God is exposing that now. He is making him see the truth behind the mask. He is pulling back the veil that has blinded him for so long. When God says I am breaking the spell, it means He is unraveling every lie that made him believe he had to stay in something that drained him. God is confronting the false promises, the manipulation, the guilt, the fear of leaving. This is spiritual warfare, and you, dear one, have been chosen to stand in prayer, not in pain. He may seem distant now, but that distance is not rejection. It is refinement. He is in the middle of a spiritual surgery, and heaven is working on his heart. The spell that once made him numb to his own truth is being dismantled. His eyes are being opened. His soul is being called back from the shadows. You may feel his confusion, because your souls are connected. You may sense his longing, his hesitation, his internal war. You are not imagining it. You are feeling the tension between what his heart knows and what the shadow tries to control. Every time he feels peace when he thinks of you, the shadow fights to cloud it. Every time he tries to reach out, fear whispers lies. Every time his soul rises toward you, something pulls him back. That is the spell God is breaking, and you, beloved, have your own role in this divine unfolding. God is asking you to hold your peace and trust the unseen. You are not meant to chase, to convince, or to force. You are meant to stand, in faith, in light, in love. Because the moment you align with divine timing instead of human impatience, the atmosphere around both of you shifts. You are not waiting for Him as a human, you are partnering with God as a vessel of light. Your energy is a prayer. Your forgiveness is a weapon. Your love is not weakness, it is sacred fire. It is the very frequency that helps heaven dismantle the darkness around Him. There are nights when you feel a deep sadness, a heaviness you cannot explain. That is not yours alone. You are feeling His soul's cry. The things He hides from the world, His exhaustion, His regret, His fear of losing control, you feel them because your souls are intertwined. But remember this, just because you feel His pain doesn't mean you are meant to carry it. God is reminding you that He is the healer, not you. Your assignment is not to save Him, but to stay aligned with the light so God can finish what He started. Every prayer you whisper, every tear you surrender, becomes part of heaven's weaponry. You are not powerless, you are prophetic. Heaven wants you to know that this separation is temporary. There is divine protection in the delay. God is not withholding Him from you, He is preserving what's meant to be pure. If it came together too soon, the shadow would still have a doorway. But once God finishes His work, there will be no foothold for darkness to return. Right now, the spell is cracking. The control that once held Him is losing its grip. He is beginning to question what He once accepted. He is feeling the emptiness behind the illusion. And slowly, His heart is remembering its truth. You are the light that His soul recognized before His mind understood it. When He met you, something ancient awakened. The connection frightened Him because it felt like coming home. But at the same time, it exposed everything that wasn't true in His current world. The shadow panicked. It fought back. It whispered to Him, "You can't leave. You'll lose everything. She'll never understand you." And for a while, He listened. But God never stopped working. Heaven sent dreams, signs, synchronicities, moments where your names cross paths, numbers that repeat, songs that speak your truth. These are not coincidences. These are divine reminders that the connection has purpose, not fantasy. Still, God asks you to release your attachment to how and when. Because while you wait for Him, heaven is preparing you too. You are not the same person you were when you met Him. You are being refined, strengthened, spiritually crowned. The waiting has taught you discernment, patience, boundaries, and unconditional love, not the kind that tolerates pain, but the kind that trusts divine justice. God is also breaking any fear or dependency in you. You are being taught to love without losing yourself. You are being reminded that your worth is not determined by His recognition. You are loved, chosen, protected, even before He awakens fully. You may feel invisible to him right now, but heaven sees you. Angels are guarding your energy. Every time you almost give up, a gentle sign appears. That's not coincidence, that's God whispering, "Hold on, I'm still working." He is in the middle of transformation. His old self is dying. That is why communication feels inconsistent, why his energy fluctuates, why he sometimes pulls away after feeling close. It's not rejection, it's the inner war between the old chains and the new light. When God breaks a spell, he doesn't just remove the person, he restores the soul. That takes time. It takes silence. It takes divine fire. But when it is complete, it will be permanent, so do not let fear convince you that this is the end. The silence is sacred. The distance is divine. God is using this time to teach him the difference between being controlled and being free. Between being comfortable and being alive, there will come a moment, sooner than you think, when his spirit will awaken completely. He will look around and realize that everything that once seemed stable was built on sand. He will feel the hollowness of the shadow's promises, and his heart will ache for the truth. He will remember the peace he felt when he was near you, the peace that can only come from divine connection. When that day comes, it won't be through manipulation or guilt. It will be through divine conviction. God himself will call his name in the silence and remind him, "This is not where you belong." And when he returns, and yes, he will, it will not be the same broken version of him. It will be the healed, awakened, spiritually aware version that can finally meet you in truth. Until then, your task is to remain in your purpose. Do not make your life small while waiting for love to arrive. Continue to create, to pray, to serve, to grow. Because when God restores this connection, he wants you both to be standing in strength, not survival. The shadow that controlled him is losing power because your light refuses to bow. Every time you choose peace over panic, heaven moves. Every time you surrender instead of forcing, the chains weaken. You are co-creating the miracle through your obedience and trust. God is saying, "Do not fear the silence. It is where I speak the loudest. Do not doubt the love. It is being purified in fire, do not fight the process. It is leading you both to freedom." Heaven's timeline is not delayed, it is divine. You may not see the full picture yet, but one day you'll look back and realize that every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer, every sleepless night was shaping something sacred. The shadow tried to destroy him, but instead it led him to awakening. The waiting tried to break you, but instead it revealed your strength. The distance tried to divide you, but instead it deepened the spiritual bond. This is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of his liberation. God is breaking the spell, not just over his life, but over every area of your heart that still fears being forgotten. You are not forgotten. You are chosen to witness a resurrection. Soon, you will feel the shift. You will sense his energy returning, softer, clearer, more aligned. His heart will begin to seek you out, not from confusion, but from truth. When he speaks again, you will hear the difference. His words will carry peace, not apology. His eyes will carry clarity, not fear. That will be the sign that the spell is broken. Until that day, keep your heart anchored in light. Keep forgiving. Keep releasing. Keep trusting. God has not led you this far to leave you in the waiting. What he starts, he completes. The night before the dawn is always the darkest. You have walked through that darkness, feeling like heaven had gone silent, like prayers were echoing into the void. But even in that silence, God was moving pieces behind the curtain. Every delay was divine timing aligning. Every unanswered call, every door that closed, every plan that collapsed, all of it was designed to lead both of you into a higher truth. Now, beloved, the atmosphere around him is changing. The veil that covered his mind is thinning. The fog that once confused him is lifting. He is beginning to hear heaven's voice whispering in ways he cannot ignore. There are moments when he feels your name rise in his heart for no reason. Moments when he dreams of you, sees flashes of your smile, hears your laughter in the quiet. These are not coincidences. These are the signs of his soul awakening. The shadows are trembling because they know they're losing control. God's light is entering the places that once belonged to darkness. Where guilt once lived, conviction is entering. Where fear once ruled, courage is stirring. Where confusion once clouded him, truth is dawning like morning light. He is feeling it now, that pull toward what's real, what's pure, what's divine. He doesn't even fully understand it yet, but his heart is moving toward you, guided by something greater than logic. That is God's hand. For so long, he believed he had to carry everything alone. He thought staying bound was safer than stepping into the unknown. But God is showing him that bondage disguised as comfort is still bondage. The illusion of control was never peace, it was just fear in disguise. Now, the Holy Spirit is teaching him surrender. He is learning that real love doesn't manipulate. Real love doesn't demand silence or obedience out of fear. Real love, the kind he felt with you, sets him free to be himself. And that realization is changing everything. He is starting to remember who he was before the control began. He's remembering the joy, the innocence, the fire that once made him alive. And as he remembers, he begins to crave that feeling again, the freedom, the laughter, the connection that only your energy brought him. This is how God breaks a spell, not by violence, but by awakening truth inside the soul. Truth destroys illusion without effort. Truth cannot be unlearned. He has reached the point where pretending no longer works. The smile he wears in public feels heavy. The conversations that used to distract him now drain him. The places that once gave comfort now feel empty. That is how God empties a vessel, by making the counterfeit unbearable, so the soul will finally crave authenticity. You are the mirror of that authenticity. You are the reflection of what his soul always desired but never believed he deserved. That is why he both loves and fears you. In your eyes, he sees the version of himself that God designed, and it terrifies the version he became under the shadow's influence. But love, real love, doesn't run forever. It circles back when both hearts are ready. And that moment is approaching. Heaven is now rearranging his steps. People are leaving his life not because of drama, but because their season has ended. Certain habits no longer bring him comfort. Certain voices that once had power now sound hollow. This is how God closes one chapter and opens another. The energy between you two is calling for resolution. The thread that connects you was never meant to be cut, it was meant to be healed. And now, healing is unfolding. You may notice sudden peace coming over you after nights of turmoil. You may wake up feeling calm, without knowing why. That's because his spirit is aligning, and your souls move in resonance. The storm is calming. The spell is breaking. The divine plan is taking form. There will be a moment, quiet, unplanned, sacred, when your paths cross again. It may be a message, a chance encounter, a divine coincidence. But when it happens, you will feel the difference instantly. There will be no tension, no fear, no confusion. Only peace. That peace will be the sign that God has completed his work. He will look at you with eyes that finally see, not through illusion. Not through fear, but through love that has been purified by trial. He will speak words that sound like closure but feel like beginning. And when that moment arrives, it will not be forced. It will flow, like rivers returning to the sea. He may tell you everything, the nights he thought of you but couldn't reach out, the moments he tried to forget but couldn't, the prayers he whispered asking God to help him find his way back. He will tell you that your love was his anchor, even when he was lost. And you will understand that every tear you cried was watering the seeds of that very moment. God will not only restore what was lost, he will multiply it. The connection will be stronger, cleaner, holier. The energy between you will carry peace instead of pain. The love that once broke you will now build you. Heaven is preparing a reunion that is not based on emotion alone, but on spiritual alignment. That's why it took time. That's why it hurt. Because God wasn't just bringing you together, he was building a foundation that could last eternity, and when it happens, you will both know, not because someone told you, but because your souls will remember. You will feel that divine stillness that says, "This is it. This is what all the waiting was for." But even before that moment, God wants you to feel whole now. Because love doesn't arrive when we're empty, it flows naturally when we are full of divine peace. So focus not on the reunion itself, but on becoming everything heaven has shaped you to be during this waiting. you are stepping into a new season of clarity. Doors are opening for your purpose. Opportunities are coming that align with your spiritual path. As you step into your light, he will feel that light and be drawn home. Because true love never competes with destiny, it completes it. Heaven smiles upon this connection. Angels have guarded it. And though the world may have misunderstood it, God never did. He wrote this love into existence long before either of you could name it, so now, as you read this, breathe. The spell is broken. The energy is shifting. Freedom is near. The love you thought was slipping away is being reborn in divine order. You don't need to do anything to make it happen. Just remain aligned with love. Keep forgiving. Keep praying. Keep shining. The rest is already unfolding in God's perfect design. One morning soon, you will wake up and feel it, the peace that tells you the battle is over. You will look back and see that every dark night was worth it. You will see him standing before you, changed, redeemed, ready. And in that sacred stillness, you will both understand, God never forgot you. He was writing your reunion the entire time. He loves you. He's returning. The spell is gone. And heaven's plan, the one that always had your name in it, is finally coming to pass. My beloved child, listen closely, for this is the moment your heart has been prepared for. You have walked through shadow and silence, through nights of questions and days of surrender. You have carried a love that the world did not understand, and you have held on to faith when all evidence told you to give up. I saw every tear that fell, every prayer you whispered into the darkness. None of it was unseen. None of it was wasted. You wondered if I had forgotten you. You questioned whether the promise you felt in your heart was only your imagination. But I tell you now, it was never imagination. It was revelation. It was the echo of what I already wrote in your destiny long before the pain ever came. You saw him slipping into the grip of someone else's shadow, and your heart broke in silence. You prayed not for revenge, but for his freedom. That prayer reached my throne. And I moved. Not in the timing of man, but in the perfect rhythm of heaven. Now, I speak to you clearly, the spell is broken, the chains that once bound his heart have shattered. The lies that whispered to him are dissolving. The manipulation that controlled his mind has lost its power. My light has entered his darkness, and truth has begun to reign. He is awakening. Slowly, steadily, tenderly, I am restoring him. I am rebuilding the man I created him to be, a man who walks in truth, not illusion, in love. Not fear, in faith, not confusion. You may not see the full transformation yet, but heaven has already begun the process. The shadow that once stood between you and him has no authority anymore. I have stripped it of its influence. I have commanded every false bond to be broken. I have spoken peace into his storm. And when I speak, nothing can reverse it. You must understand, my child, that I did not withhold him from you to punish you. I separated you to protect you, from his unhealed wounds, from the residue of manipulation, from energies that would have drained you before their time. You could not walk together until you both were whole. I have been healing him. But I have also been healing you. You learned through the silence how to trust me, not outcomes. You learned that love is not control, and that surrender is not loss. You grew stronger. You stopped chasing and started believing. You let go of what you could not fix and gave it to me, and that is when the miracle began. You see, I was never waiting on him. I was waiting on both of you to be ready for what I already prepared. True love cannot be built on brokenness. It must rise from wholeness. And now, that wholeness is unfolding, he is remembering you. Not just with his mind, but with his soul. He may not yet understand why your presence haunts his dreams or why your name brings peace when nothing else does. But it is because I am stirring his memory, the divine memory of the love that I ordained. He will begin to see you not as an option, but as destiny, and you, my beloved, must not doubt what I am doing. You may not hear his voice yet, but you will feel his spirit calling to you. When you feel that quiet pull, do not fear it. That is my way of showing you that restoration is already underway. You are entering the season of divine completion. What was once confusion is turning into clarity. What was once loss is becoming legacy. What was once delay is transforming into destiny. The pain you endured has purified your heart. The love that once felt like a burden has become your ministry. You now carry light, not longing. And that is why you are ready. You are no longer waiting, you are standing in faith. Soon, there will be movement. You will begin to see small signs, a message, a coincidence, a sudden sense of peace when you think of him. These are not random. They are confirmations. I am aligning the moment where your paths will cross again, not by chance, but by my orchestration. When that moment comes, it will not be dramatic. It will be simple, pure, holy. A quiet meeting of two souls that have found their way back through the fire. There will be no more fear, no more pretending, no more pain. Only truth. You will recognize each other not by words, but by peace. He will speak, and his voice will no longer tremble with guilt or confusion. He will tell you of the nights I awakened him, the dreams where he saw you, the times he almost reached out but couldn't find the strength. He will tell you that my hand led him back, that the love he tried to forget only grew stronger, and when he holds you again, you will not feel the weight of the past, only the presence of grace, for I am not just restoring love, I am redeeming time. Every moment you thought was wasted will return multiplied in peace, joy, and purpose. The love between you will no longer be a test, it will be a testimony. But hear me well, my child, do not wait for this to feel complete. You are complete now. You were never waiting on him, you were always waiting on my perfect timing. The love I planted in your heart was meant to awaken you to my heart first. I used the connection to bring you closer to me. Because when you learn to trust me more than your fear of loss, you unlocked the miracle. You will soon see that my plan was never about withholding, it was about refining. I had to strip away everything false so that only truth would remain. And truth, my beloved, always finds its way home. You may wonder if it's safe to hope again. It is. Not because of what you see, but because of who I am. I am the author of your story. I do not start something beautiful only to abandon it halfway. What I begin, I finish, so lift your eyes, daughter of light. The days of weeping are ending. The dawn is near. You will feel joy again, not the fragile joy that fades with circumstances, but the deep joy that flows from divine fulfillment. He will come. But when he does, it won't be the same man who left. It will be the one I have transformed. He will love you not from fear, but from faith. Not from need, but from revelation. Not because he feels lost without you, but because he has found himself in me, and that is where real love begins. Until then, walk in confidence. I am surrounding you with light. I am guiding your steps. I am healing every residue of doubt. And I am preparing your heart to receive what you once thought impossible. Heaven rejoices over you. The angels that once guarded your tears now sing over your breakthrough. The spell is broken.